Dashing, the wonderful Toastmaster.
Even after all these years, when we ask her why, she replies, "It's because I love you." General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and my ever handsome, charming, and wonderful speaker tonight, Toastmaster Khalid. Love begets love. When I walked in and read that topic, it got me a little bit confused. What is he going to talk about? Because you see, love can include a lot of persons. And when he came here and started his introduction by saying how he got married and moved out of his house, I thought, okay, he is talking about his lovely wife. But then the introduction got a little bit labyrinthine. It got complicated when he all of a sudden shifted and mentioned his mother. And the way he described his mother. The love, the care, the determination, the resiliency, and the selfless nature of his mother. The way he started describing his mom and the struggles she had to go through, and how she came from Philippines here as a housemaid, and how she met Toastmaster Khalid's father. And using his vivid imaginary, we could actually picture him cleaning his BMW right outside the streets back in the 1970s. Throughout the speech, my speaker maintained a specific tone that showed us that whatever words he is saying are actually coming from right here. And for that, I commend the job that my speaker did. He carried on describing how he feels that the mother is missing the love, and how the love is important to her. My job today as an evaluator is to evaluate my speaker based on the content and the delivery. If we talk about the delivery, as always expected, we would expect nothing less from Toastmaster Khalid for an amazing delivery. One point that I would like to mention here, his voice was consistent throughout, and that was, for the tone of the speech, really good. The content, however, was on point, every word was well written, but my suggestion to my speaker would be two things. A bit more humor could have been added, because that is kind of expected of my speaker. He could have added more stories about him and his mom, a bit more humor. And also, the occasion of the speech was missing. This is a project from the Special Occasion Manual, and that occasion was missing. That could have been there. In summation, my speaker did an amazing job. The voice was consistent, on fleek throughout. I commend my speaker, and he has passed all his objectives. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Khalid, for that wonderful evaluation. Very vivid. We move on to our next evaluator. For our surprise speaker,
Surprise?
Toastmaster.
Not so surprising.
Toastmaster Tima. What?
I heard you say surprise.
Surprise.
A surprise. Surprise.
Our evaluator, Toastmaster Rajendran Ambada.
General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters. I had a couple of Chinese friends, but it never occurred to me that I should talk to them about how this Chinese zodiac came into existence. And today, fortunately for me, that gap was filled by Toastmaster Fatima. In fact, the process of doing the history, bringing history to life, that's the theme of the speech. by all means she could have relied on some of the run-of-the-mill topics, history, which is what I thought also. But surprisingly, she had a very unique topic, something that I could take away. I was so curious right from the start. It looked to be a humorous start, in fact, but at the same time, there was a strong historical basis to that. Now, there are three main components to this kind of storytelling. It should have a good plot, it must have sufficient characters, and it must have a good narration to bring this plot and the characters entangled. And there should be subplots, conflicts, which I am sure there were many. In fact, there were as many subplots as there are the number of zodiac signs itself. The story itself was so catchy. She started with how the mice and the cat latched on to the ox and crossed the river. So I was just listening to that story like a small kid. So much so, somewhere halfway through the speech, I lost count of the characters, the number of. Otherwise, it was a wonderful speech. It was so interesting and unique. The only thing, having said all that, the only thing I felt was that, to borrow the grammarian's word, I felt a bit like it was a labyrinthine maze of subplots or characters. I don't, which is why probably she took a little over 8 minutes, 45 seconds, if I'm right. Probably she could have cut short a bit. But for that, it was a wonderful speech. I'm sure she will go to the next, I think she completes the 50th speech, which she rightly deserves. Please join me in applauding.